start with the traffic impact analysis that we've had conducted. The analysis is designed and intended to evaluate the impacts on the roadway network due to the proposed zoning. We received the TIA on Friday, January 14th, and submitted that to VDOT for their review on the same day. It's also posted on the project website, which you can see here on the slide, and we have a hard copy of the TIA in our office as well. It looks at existing conditions. It also forecasts future traffic without the proposed development, and then adds on the future traffic with the proposed development. Lastly, it recommends the mitigation measures and is based on operational analysis and a safety review. And the proffers that we'll be talking about today are informed by the TIA. So we looked at the study area. On the eastern case, 14 study intersections were analyzed, and on the western case, 22 study intersections were looked at. The traffic volumes were collected in 2019 and 2021. They were estimated for the intersections that don't currently exist, i.e. those that are shown as future roadways and intersections on the thoroughfare plan. And a COVID adjustment factor was applied to the AM peak of 1.08 and the PM peak hour 1.11. So first off, we looked at the traffic conditions in the future without the development. We looked at 3 study years for the eastern case, 2024, which involved the middle school only, 2035, which is build out of the eastern, the proposed eastern rezoning, and then 2041 is a year that is analyzed for design purposes. On the western side, we looked at 2 design years, 2035 and 2041. We looked at background growth based on the existing 2019 and 2021 traffic volumes, and they were grown using a conservative growth rate of 2%, which was developed based on the Richmond Regional Travel Demand Model, historical traffic count data, VDOT statewide planning system database, a current study that we have underway on 360, as well as socioeconomic data. And for each study year that we talked about, the AM and PM peak hour operational analyses were conducted for each of the intersections on the map. So once we had the background growth and the traffic information without the development, then we overlaid the projected traffic resulting from the development. So basically what that means is you take the future traffic without the development, you add in estimated site trips. The site trips are generated based on the most recent edition of the ITE Trip Gen manual, which is the 11th edition. And then again, for each study year, we looked at AM and PM peak hour operational analyses for each intersection. And then we recommended improvements to mitigate the impact of the proposed rezoning. And just to give you a brief overview of the chart that you see in front of you, the eastern case generates roughly 16,000 daily trips in the design year. A good rule of thumb a good rule of thumb through analyzing the numbers is 1/3 of those trips are a result of the residential, 1/3 of those trips are a result of the high school that's proposed, and then the other 1/3 is the combination of the trips between the elementary and the middle combined. The western case, we looked at an industrial park land use within the TIA manual, the ITE manual, and those trips were based on 8,000 square feet of industrial space per acre for the 1,732 acres, which results in a little over 13.8 thousand square feet and a total of just under 47,000 daily trips.
Mr. Chair. And I apologize. So
It's a little difficult to read, yes, sir.
So KCF, that's not square footage, that's.
KCF is 1,000 square feet. So it's 13,000.
So 1.3 million square feet.
13,856,000 square feet.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. So based on the information that was proposed by the applicant and the traffic impact analysis, the following are CDOT's suggested proffered conditions. So the first thing we start off with is a transportation density condition. And for the eastern case, the maximum density of development will be the 2,400 student high school, 1,800 student middle school, 1,000 student elementary, a public library, and 600 single-family dwelling units. We've included a road cash proffer statement stating that the applicant shall pay $9,400 for each dwelling unit. Should the applicant decide to undertake any off-site improvements, we would entertain off-site credit against the cash proffers. Dedication of right-of-way for the Powhite Parkway, the Powhite Parkway interchanges, the north-south arterial, Westerly Parkway, the north-south collector road, the Duval Road realignment, existing Duval, as well as any stub streets would be a part of the dedication proffered condition. Also included in the eastern case, we have an access proffered condition such that any site, prior to any plan approval, an access plan for Westerly Parkway, the north-south collector, Duval, and the north-south arterial 1 will be submitted to and approved by us. Again, our suggested road improvement proffered conditions are informed by the traffic impact analysis, and it will include a reconstruction of Otterdale Road and Duval Road intersection to include realignment and construction of turn lanes and intersection control, construction of additional pavement and intersection control at Otterdale Road and Westerly Parkway intersection, construction of 4 lanes for Westerly Parkway, including pedestrian accommodations and crosswalk improvements, construction of additional pavement at Westerly Parkway in the north-south collector for left and right turn lanes, including intersection control, construction of a 4-lane facility for the north-south collector, including pedestrian accommodation and crosswalk improvements, construction of a 4-lane facility for Duval Road with modifications as approved by us from Otterdale Road to the north-south collector intersection. Construction of a 4-lane facility for Otterdale Road from Duval Road to Woolridge Road. Construction of an additional lane of pavement at the north-south collector road and Duval Road intersection to provide left and right turn lanes, including intersection control. Widening and improving the north side of Duval Road to a 12-foot wide travel lane with an additional 4-foot paved shoulder and a 4-foot unpaved shoulder, and overlaying the full width of the road along the property frontage not improved as a part of the previous improvement to Duval Road. Finally, construction of 2 lanes of the north-south arterial 1, which is the Magnolia Green Parkway extension, including pedestrian accommodations and crosswalk improvements from its existing terminus to the Powhite Parkway right-of-way. And again, dedication to the county free and unrestricted of any additional right-of-way. The eastern case also includes a phasing plan proffer condition such that prior to any site plan approval, a phasing plan will be submitted. The initial development we have defined as including development of the middle school site only. So the following improvements would be made along with the construction of the middle school. Proffered condition 12A, which is the reconstruction of Otterdale and the Otterdale Road and Duval Road intersection. 12B, which is the construction of intersection control and eastbound channelized right turn lane from Westerly Parkway to southbound Otterdale Road. Construction of 2 lanes for Westerly Parkway and associated improvements from its existing terminus to the north-south collector intersection. Left and right turn lanes at the Westerly Parkway and north-south collector intersection. And finally, construction of 2 lanes of the north-south collector and associated improvements from Westerly Parkway south to the southern terminus of the middle school property. Wanted to give you a quick overview of what some of these improvements look like. This is the Otterdale and Woolridge Road intersection. This is a conceptual graphic of the free flow right turn lane from Westerly Parkway onto Otterdale Road with associated signal improvements. A conceptual plan of a continuous green T at Duval and Otterdale Road intersection. Improvements to Woolridge Road and Genito Road. Now I'd like to transfer to the western case. Again, the first proffer condition will be dedication of right-of-way for the Powhite Parkway, the Powhite Parkway and North-South Arterial 1 interchange, North-South Arterial 1 and 2, Westerly Parkway, East-West Arterials 1 and 2, Duval Road realigned, Mosley Road, Duval Road, and various stub roads. Again, an access proffer condition such that prior to any plan approval, an access plan will be provided showing the corresponding road references at time that they are required. Road improvements for the western case, and again, these are CDOT suggested proffer conditions informed by the TIA. The first proffer condition would be that the owner-developer will submit for approval by CDOT a traffic impact analysis and plan for the overall development showing the road improvements necessitated by the proposed uses. We listed this initially because, again, when you're talking about as many square feet of industrial as we're talking about, we don't know if it's going to come in as one large user, a bunch of small users, and we're going to require that a traffic study be submitted showing the impact of whatever use and whatever amount of square feet come in initially. The road proffer construction list is quite lengthy. It includes Powhite Parkway from Hull Street to its existing terminus to the north, improvements to the 360 and Skin Corner intersection, 360 from Beaver Bridge Road to Cosby Road, widening to 6 lanes, Westerly Parkway from Otterdale Road to the westernmost property line as a 4-lane facility, a north-south collector from Westerly Parkway to Duval as a 4-lane, the north-south arterial 1, Mount Herman Magnolia Green from Genito to Woolridge Road as a 4-lane, the north-south arterial 2, Duval Road from Westerly Parkway to Skin Quarter Road as a 4-lane, the east-west arterial 2 from the north-south arterial 1 to Mosley Road as a 4-lane, Duval Road realigned and Duval Road from Otterdale Road to the north-south arterial as a 4-lane. Duval Road from the southernmost property line to Skin Quarter as an improved 2-lane, improving Mosley Road from Westerly Parkway to Skin Quarter as an improved 2-lane, Skin Quarter Road from Mosley Road to Route 360 as an improved 2-lane, Genito Road from Mount Herman to Otterdale as an improved 2-lane, the Genito Road and Woolridge Road intersection, Otterdale Road from Duval to Woolridge as a 4-lane, and again, additional dedication of any additional right-of-way that's required. Also requiring a phasing plan in this proffer condition. And then some quick schematics of those improvements. I think folks have seen these before, the Powhite Parkway extension. This is a proposed improvement to Skin Quarter and 360. Intersection improvement at Beaver Bridge Road and 360. Improvements to the intersection of Magnolia Green Parkway and 360. You'll note 360 shown as a 6-lane divided facility in this conceptual graphic. Improvements to Otterdale and 360. I'll note that the improvements here along Otterdale Road are included as part of an existing project CDOT is already managing. improvements to Otterdale and Woolridge Road, adding an additional approach lanes to Otterdale Road. So what I thought I'd end with, after that mouthful, is a quick summary table of what the traffic study recommends, what the CDOT suggested proffered conditions include, and then what we've recently just seen submitted through the EDA and their proffered conditions. So you'll note that all of the recommendations from the traffic study, CDOT has developed a proffered condition for, with the exception of adding a northbound through lane at the Woolridge and Genito intersection, which is already included in another project, as well as the improvements to Otterdale Road at 360 that we just mentioned are also included as part of another project. We did receive recently some proposed proffers from the EDA, and there's no change to any of the suggestions we've made, with one exception. We call for specific 4-laning of Otterdale Road in a certain section, and they're softening that language to constructing the necessary upgrades to Otterdale from Duval to Woolridge. So with that one exception, there have been no proposed changes as yet to the CDOT proposed proffers. I would also like to add, we've requested schools prepare a detailed school traffic operations plan to optimize their student drop-off and pickup operations, as well as to analyze any impacts in queuing to public rights-of-way. And also one additional detail that I wanted to make sure got included, pedestrian accommodations, just because they aren't listed in this table, they are included in certain proffered conditions, as I read through earlier. And then finally on the west, the west summary table is even a little more difficult to read, but again, I'll just highlight that we took the recommendations from the traffic study, we developed a list of proposed proffers, and with 4 exceptions, the submitted proffers by the EDA do not change those proposals. The 4 exceptions are adding an additional northbound through lane at Woolridge and Genito, which, as I've mentioned, is included in another CDOT project. The EDA proffers, as currently submitted, do not include widening 360 from Cosby Road to Beaver Bridge Road, 4 lanes to 6 lanes. They don't include improving Genito Road as a good 2-lane from Otterdale to Mount Herman, nor do they include improving Mosley Road to a good 2-lane from Westerly to Skin Quarter. So again, one other detail on the western case I'll add is that the developer will submit for approval by CDOT a traffic study and plan for overall development showing the proposed improvements associated with each phase of their development. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Commissioners, do you have any questions you would like to ask? Mr. Sloan?
Mr. Chair, I have a fairly lengthy list of questions. I'd probably say, I don't know if we're going to do this another work session, but for most of them, but the one I would like an answer to was, as a basis for the traffic study, was the assumption used that the Powhite Parkway existed or doesn't exist?
The assumption is that it does not exist, but that it will be required as a result of the development.
So if the Powhite Parkway were not to be built, it changes everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you.